What's up, guys? Heraltic here, and today we're going to be looking at the Warframe Yareli. I got a little bit of a build here for you. It's not your most notable and original one, I guess you could say. It doesn't have Marlena, so let's get into it. So we got sea snares here. What they do is, they're a crowd control, and they're going to immobilize the targets, allowing you to damage them much easier and not take damage. They also have probably the highest damage vulnerability in the game. Damage vulnerability does work on your weapons and shit, so you know. Then we have Nourish. Nourish is Grendel's subsume ability from the helmet. I'm using it over top of Marlena today because it works better with the build than Marlena does. It gives us viral on our weapons and a viral pulse when we take damage. Then we have Aqua Blades. These are going to be sort of the baseline of the build, and what everything's centered around is getting these ready for damage. It's just a AoE sort of thing around Yareli. Not terrible, I would guess you could say. They're all right. They don't do anything notably cool. The function they'll have is when we get to the build itself. Then we have Riptide. This is her main crowd control. This is how you group enemies. You group them up into this and they'll ragdoll around. It's very strong with electric damage. Yeah, that's that. Her passive is you gain 200% more crit chance on secondary weapons, so that's your pistols like Epitaph, Furus, Cestras, Lex, and for today's build, the Ocucore. All it requires is that you move around for at least 1.5 seconds. With Yareli, of course. Alright, so the Trumna and the Serata are completely useless for this build because they're really not going to find much use here. It's all about the Ocucore. So for the Ocucore build, we've got Diffusion Galvanized, obviously. We got Prime Target Cracker, Prime Pistol Gambit, Sentient Surge, Primed Heated Charge, Jolt, Pistol Pestilence, and Galvanized Shot. And then we have Cascadia Flare to kind of deal with the base damage we don't have in the build itself. We'll get up to 480% for every heat proc we can put on a target, and with Ocucore that's going to be incredibly easy. Don't worry about the Riven. The Riven's kind of just here until I find a way to fit it in the build. So, you know, free to play build. Marlena doesn't have anything, and she is of no use to this build, so... But now we get into the nitty gritty. If you notice, I have Corrosive on my Ocucore. Now, Corrosive normally doesn't full armor strip, meaning that Nourish is normally useless because it doesn't get down to their base health. That's where these shards come in, the Emerald Archon shards. Increases your max stacks of corrosion by 2. Now, if you have both of these, that's plus 4, giving you a full 100% armor strip as long as the corrosive procs are on there. The blue shards are just energy, so that I have, as you notice, 904. Just so that spamming is a little easier, because we have this. Surging Blades. What this does is allows me to turn Aqua Blades into a ranged weapon. This, paired with the viral we're getting from Nourish, means that this Aqua Blades are going to be dealing slash damage dependent on the amount of enemies I hit with Surging Blades. Energy Nexus just ensures that I've always got energy with absolutely no problem. And we are doing what I call a shield tanking build, which is where we just load up as much shields as we can, pair it with adaptation to boost the 50% damage resistance that shields give, and then we're pairing it with Arcane Aegis and Barrier, which is a really powerful combo for this. What you probably should do is probably replace this with Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Fast deflection, which is what we'll do for the build. Is we'll do fast deflection for the build showcase. I don't know why I'm calling it a build showcase. All right. So let's get into the simulacrum. I'll show you how everything works. All right. So now that we're in the simulacrum, let's go ahead and go into how this works. So let's get our energy here real quick. I'm not going to have the enemy shoot at me right yet because right now we're just showcasing how the abilities all working together. So we're going to cast Nourish, and what that's going to do is it's going to give us sort of, as you notice, the armor is stripping very fast. And then once it's out, we just start launching everything. And once the galvanized mods are procced up, we got all the tendrils. If you notice, our magazine keeps refilling. This is a special property of the Core, virtually giving us infinite ammo in the magazine itself. Now what this entails is that what we could do is just walk in a straight line and kill absolutely fucking everything. Alright, so now we're going to go into how the build sort of functions with itself. So sea snares, as you can see, picks up enemies, kind of just leaves them there, and this does increase damage to them all. You can throw out 15. You get exactly 15 before they just start re-picking up the same enemies and shit, and the other ones disappear. You do not get more than 15 at a time. You can throw them out as much as you like, but older ones will disappear. Aqua Blades, you just run through, deal slash damage. It's a very low amount, so this isn't how we're going to get our damage around them. If you notice in the top right where my buffs are, you see a number going up. We're at 26k, and the icon is the Aqua Blades themselves. So now what that entails is that's not going to increase the damage of the Aqua Blades themselves. It increases the damage of what I'll show you here in a bit. So now what we do is we just walk up and we can throw these out, and what they do is they increase the damage that the enemies will take to the procs, to the Aqua Blades. And that increase in damage does actually work with the augment. The more damage you deal with the Aqua Blades, the more damage it stacks up. And as you can see, shit's dying relatively fast. I did not mean to. Yes. So what that does is, stop. So now what we can show is Riptide. As you can see, it launches them all up in there, and running through them, still gives me the Aqua Blades procs. So now I can just throw these, and as you can see, we're doing damage. Everything is taking damage. If we cast Nourish, now enemies will start taking like extra damage from me. Alright. So now we're going to let this run out a little bit because I want to show you everything. I guess what I could do is just... boop. Alright, now that everything's off. Alright, so now what we're going to do is show you how the build kind of like functions with each other. Pick the enemies up, cast this, cast that 3 times, get that loaded up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to recast Aqua Blades. We'll recast it a couple of times, and what it does is it throws one of the Aqua Blades at the enemies, and sort of like a shuriken. Now this does not have to be in the radius on the Aqua Blade is pretty large. It's not a very small Aqua Blade, like, radius. relatively decent. So that's how it's going to work. We're going to be stacking up Aqua Blades quite a lot in the mission. And we're just going to be throwing it in a line, throwing it into the Riptide, throwing it into the Sea Snares, throwing Sea Snares, all kinds of shit like that. Now I get to show you the survivability of the build. Well, I guess I'll show you that in an actual mission. Don't want to spend too much time in the simulacrum and be like some people in the industry. So we're using a survival to sort of tell how this is going to go down. So before I start, I'm going to pop that so that we get a little energy before the whole thing starts up. Make sure we have our Akikora because that's what we're going to be using. Get a little bit of energy going. Alright, so now we're going to pop the abilities and everything, and we start killing enemies. Watch my shields. So the Aqua Blades ain't really gonna be used all that much within like the first bit of the game. You're more so going to be relying on the Akikora a lot more, really throughout the entire game. The Aqua Blades are more of a melee deterrent. They'll stagger the enemies, allowing you to sort of deal with not dying to somebody running up and rocking your shit. And you can just really just hold the fucking Akikor infinitely. Like, it will not fucking matter. This shit is broken busted. Thank you to all the other YouTubers who have covered this and allowed me to have a decent build on it. Namely, kyaii and NovaUmbral. Those two are the ones who kind of gave me the inspiration in terms of this. It was the help of a friend of mine within one of their Discord servers who sort of told me that Akikor would be absolutely busted on Yareli. I will say Yareli has definitely been a ride of trying to put a decent build on. She has not been an easy one. So many different things had to be like figured out and shit, and I about wanted to bust my fucking controller open trying to figure them out. Then I had a roller coaster trying to fucking record. So it's really just, I like it. I'm fucking loving this. This is absolutely fantastic. I low-key am glad that they told me to do Yareli. Like, I didn't see a lot of people doing Yareli on the YouTube, so I figured, fuck it. Let's be one of the first. Obviously, I'm not one of the first, but, you know, fuck you. Fuck you, people. So the aura we're using is literally just so that we have big boy combo multiplier. It's nothing special. You can use whatever aura mod you want. I recommend growing power for a build like this because it increases the effectiveness of nourish. But I don't have growing power because I'm a cheapskate. So, you know. But if you're not cheap like me and, you know, you have a bit of plat extra and you're not a fucking retard, I definitely recommend going for it. I normally stay within the first area, but I figured for a build like this, AFKing is not normally a good idea. As you can see, I've not had any problem surviving, mainly because Doriga is proccing radiation on everything, meaning that they're going to be more so focused on attacking each other because they're in closer proximity to each other than me. Now, as you can see, Akicore is absolutely fucking over this fucking Acolyte. My shield's not going down means survivability. This build, by no means, I am not sure to go level cap. If you want to give that a try, you can let me know. I would be glad to know if it can go level cap, but I have not tested it at level cap, so I'm not going to tell you it can't go level cap. I will tell you more so it's most likely not going to go level cap because it is my build. The only build I've ever had go level cap is my Excalibur. And that's kind of been ruined with recent changes to finisher damage and seems to be desiccation. Best thing about the Akicore is you do not have to fucking aim this thing. Like, this is an AFKer's dream gun. Like, you could just walk in a straight line, and as long as enemies are within a certain cone, they'll fucking die. Now, you do not need Nourish, like, so much in base Steel Path. Like, Nourish is not required at all. Your focus school is also not going to matter at all. It really is whatever the fuck you want to run. I'd say if you're having, like, problems with being knocked down all the time and you don't like having to switch your operator every 2 seconds, definitely recommend swapping Power Drift for Prime Sure-Footed. Which is kind of weird coming from me, considering I've always been a kind of boycotter of the mod Prime Sure-Footed. It's never really been my forte. I've always just used an Iroh, but I understand that other people sort of have their own values and what mods they put on and how they play the game. So, you know, I'm not going to tell you not to run it because that's honestly the stupidest thing somebody could tell you, because it's probably the most broken mod in this game. But yeah, it's a relatively decent build. It's not bad at all. I really enjoy the time I've spent putting this together. I do have a separate build that is revolving around Marilena. So if y'all want to see that, let me know. I would be perfectly fucking glad to cover that. Like, more than anything. Like, the more I get to use Yareli, the better. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have enjoyed my time with her. She is definitely one of my top 5 favorite frames. Best thing about the Akicore, too, is the fact that it is an easy minimum of like 80 kills per minute. So, literally just this in an Inaros, like if you run like a Gloom Inaros, this is probably like one of the easiest lazy setups you can use. Just run this and just walk in a straight fucking line. You can just run this and just shoot straight. I don't even remember if I showed the fucking the build for the Akicore. Alright, fuck it. If I didn't show the build for the Akicore, just run shit. Anything you put on it is better than what I have on it. Literally, what I have on it is probably the worst you could put on it. I don't know. My build is garbage. All of my builds are garbage, and you can ask literally anybody who knows me, and they'll tell you I make the worst builds in the game. They call me the self-cuck for a reason, and I will never not accept that name. I forgot to keep an Iroh going. So I know we're not using Serrata in this, but I kind of want to. I've never actually like tried this build on an Acolyte yet, so we're gonna kind of like one fucking shot. What the fuck? We fucking one shot a base Steel Path Acolyte with Serrata. This is why Serrata is better than Glaive, people. That is something I'll tell you. Serrata is infinitely better than Glaive, and there's nothing anybody can say to change my mind. I really like this build. There is nothing I can say like bad about it. I really enjoy it. It's not a meta build by any means. It's more of a meme build. It's something to play around with if you're not feeling like using the same stupid, boring ass Zaku and Revenant shit. Which is good, don't get me wrong, it's the meta shit, so I'm not gonna buck it because it's meta, I'm gonna buck it because it's boring. I don't like boring shit. That's just me. So the biggest problem I have with survival is because I'm not the greatest player. I'm probably one of the worst in the game. So my kills per minute is garbage. So like if you're at least half better than me, like if you can at least play the game without being absolute garbage like I am, you will not have a hard time with this. Like survivals are relatively easy. It's disruptions where true skill is sort of shown. Disruptions and Void Cascade, those are the banes of my existence. Mainly because they require me to do something that isn't killing. It's just a problem I have. I tunnel vision too fucking much. It's more of a skill issue than anything. I'm not going to call it anything other than a skill issue. Another thing I recommend putting in the aura slot for this build is combat discipline. The reason is because it does the damage takes like burst you get from taking damage, like the viral explosion. It procs off of your shields taking damage, from what I've noticed. Somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not noticing something. But combat discipline also is very good for using with Nourish, because every kill you get decreases your health, and with health decrease, you're obviously going to get the viral explosion, which doubles as a CC. You do not need the two energy shards either. Like, the two energy shards are clearly just there because I said fuck it. But you do not need the energy shards. If you're really good about managing your energy, and in Steel Path you're going to be getting energy orbs a whole fucking lot. But if you're really good about it, you do not need it. Because Nourish is going to give you plenty of energy from just picking up energy orbs. Like, I think an energy orb is like 100 energy. And you just keep Nourish up at all times, and you're fine. The full armor stripping from the double Archon shards, fantastic. We have another Acolyte coming, so we're going to have fun with that. As long as your kill count is high, you're good. Also, when using it, if you're going to use a glaive with this, you're going to need to spam the fuck out of your heavy attack button, because for some reason right now heavy attacks on glaives are bugged, so they don't actually like heavy attack properly. You're going to have to double tap to be able to heavy attack. So just keep that in mind if you decide to use a glaive with them, with any secondary weapon, not just Ocucore, especially the Incarnates, because when it comes to the Incarnate weapons, you don't actually get to activate your Incarnate. It's kind of fucking weird, but it happened after this recent update. I do enjoy this game. Like, I love this fucking game. It's gotten boring in the past, but thanks to the fact that I can now actually record videos and shit because I'm on PC, I have a newfound enjoyment in the game, and it's perfect. I love the game. I always have. It just, you know, it's gotten boring. Might have to try this thing out with gas. I feel like gas would be weird on it, but I feel like it could work. And the ammo economy on this is not bad either. Like, it's actually really good. Like, I was low-key shocked, like, with how good it is. I thought I was going to need an Exilus mod for it, but no. Beam length is way fucking better. Obviously, these enemies are kind of low level and shit, but it melts through them pretty easy. Like I said, my build's really fucking garbage. So if you have a better build on it, you're going to do way fucking better. Now, I'm not sure how the editing quality on the video is going to be, so this is my first ever like actual YouTube video. It's one that I've actually trying to put effort into. So I apologize if the video is absolute dog shit. I'm trying my best. Like, this is over time. I hope I'm gonna get better, and that's the goal, is to get really good at this. And I will be making improvements on my PC so that shit looks better and everything looks fantastic. It's a process over time, and it's something I just got to work on. But if you guys have things that you could think of to improve the quality of the video, let me know. I will be glad to hear it. Anything you can say is fantastic. I'm open to any criticism, good, bad, because any criticism is good criticism. Even no matter how aggressive it is, how negative it is, it's always cause for improvement. Plus, who knows? Maybe I got a degradation kink. Degradation? I don't know the word. Maybe I have a kink to taking bad information, to being called shit. I don't know. Would explain my love interests. This has really just been a Yareli show. I mean, a Ocucore showcase. But I mean, Ocucore is the star of the build. Yareli's more of the frame you decide to use. But if you notice, I've taken little damage. I have not been downed yet. That's how strong shield taking is. Shield taking is sadly way better than health tanking. Now, you're not going. None of my builds. I'm going to be direct with you. None of my builds are going to be shield gate. The reason is I physically cannot shield gate, and it's a massive skill issue, but I'm willing to take it to my grave. Like, I just cannot shield gate. Obviously, if I could shield gate for some Warframes, I would, just because, you know, it's better and it's easier. But for Yareli, to be honest, you really don't need it, especially if you go the Marilena Guardian route with her augment for Marilena. You do not need to shield gate, because Marilena takes all the fucking damage. You could fucking sit there forever on Marilena and never die, and as long as you're using Marilena Guardian and a good enough pistol, you're gonna absolutely fucking destroy every fucking thing. Now, the biggest threat you've probably got with this build is Blitz Eximus. The reason is Blitz Eximus will one-shot your shields. No matter how high your shields are, no matter how much you put into them, the Blitz Eximus will one-shot your shield and send you right into the shield gate. The thing about this build, though, is you have a 2.5 second shield gate with prime redirection. So 2.5 seconds is enough time for you to get the fuck out of there and recharge your shields a little bit. Using Fax Deflection will increase your recharge rate too. And if you're lucky and get the Arcane Aegis procs, you'll be fine. More points if you get Arcane Barrier to proc right after the shield at the Blitz Eximus. I am fumbling my words right now. I'm leaving it all in the video. Fuck it. No edits. No cuts. Absolutely fucking none. We're not doing any. Y'all get to hear the real me, because it's not authentic if you don't hear the ums. I don't care how bad my video does because of it. I feel like your viewers should be allowed to know what you sound like in real. The amount of ums you make in real life. It's just not genuine if you're editing out all of your mistakes. Like, if you don't and oh, perfect, put it in the fucking video. If you and oh, perfect, put it in the video. Show people how real you are. Editing all your mistakes out is absolutely fucking garbage. Like, I can understand maybe editing out, like, you saying words you really shouldn't, but I'm gonna leave this stuff in because it's just how I am. Why would I edit out the shit that makes me me? If I edit out this shit, I'm just going to be like every other YouTuber on the planet. Feels more genuine if I just say what I say, how I say it, and don't give a fuck. I'm not looking to make money off of this. I'm doing this for fun. So, YouTube can do what they want. Like, I will understand if they take my videos off. I'll do better. But right now, you know, it's my first video, so we got to see how the algorithm treats me. But like I said, I'm not looking to make money off of this. I don't want to make money off of this. Like, that's the last thing I want to do. I'm literally just doing this for me. I don't want to take, like, views from any of the streamers who deserve them. Like, anybody who comes to me would have a way better time going to somebody like Kyaii or fucking Sajin Khan. Definitely go check out Sajin Khan. Like, if you like long-term videos, Sajin Khan is the way to fucking go. Bro makes some goated fucking content. Like, he has to be one of the best fucking content creators in the game. Taking out fucking damage. Thank you. Now, as you can see, things are getting a little dicey. But it's relatively okay. Like I said, I'm not the best at this game. I don't know what was going on there. Misinput, really. But I think that's enough footage to show. I know it's not fucking level cap. Shut the fuck up. Sit the fuck down. We're fine. I have a plan. We'll be going level cap with my Nova Prime build. I haven't decided what the level cap's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be disruption. I don't know if I'm going to be willing to sit there for 8 hours, but it will be a level cap. So yeah, that's that. Alright, Malice. Let's see what you can do. Absolutely fucking murdered. Fuck you. You don't get no fucking opportunities out of fucking me, bitch. Absolutely fucking nothing. You're fucking garbage. Not this fucking time, bitches. You acolytes get fucking nothing out of me. Fucking Ocucore showcase. Who put the Ocucore in my Yareli build? My bad. Who put the fucking Yareli in my Ocucore showcase? Nobody asked for Yareli in my Ocucore showcase, so why the fuck is it not Revenant with Zadas? Needed another Revenant build, like Revenant showcase? Because Revenant is the best frame in the game. No fucking diff. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. I'm sorry it was a long one. Like I said, this is my first time, so please let me know if there's anything that I can do to improve upon and give you the best content possible. You tell me if you want longer ones, shorter ones. I don't give a fuck. You tell me what it is, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm going to work. I want this to be a long-term hobby for me, and anybody who watches, I appreciate you fucking greatly because it allows me to make this. It gives me a reason to do this more. It gives me more of a reason to just get up and be like, I'm gonna record. So I appreciate everybody who stopped by to watch. Thank you very much. It's been Heraltic. Have a good day.